What's good, everyone, and welcome back to Kaya's Commentary. And if you're new here, welcome to Kaya's Commentary. This is a podcast that offers commentary on pop culture topics, real world issues, anything in between, and maybe even some advice every now and then. Before we get down to it, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Kaya R. Pennington, and you can follow Kaya's Commentary on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Kaya's Commentary. Also, be sure to hit the follow/subscribe button, and for my YouTube viewers, click the notification bell so you get notified when new videos drop. Also, before we get into it, if you notice a change in my voice, allergies are indeed kicking my butt right now, so I'm a little stopped up because allergies, darn you allergies, it be that way. So we just gonna have to deal with it, push through. Also, because I don't know how long my first segment is going to take, we may only get to 3 segments today, and that's really actually okay because this particular episode is more of a social commentary episode and less of reviewing certain movies or TV shows or anything like that. There will be a book review, but for the most part, this is a social commentary episode. And let's get into why this is a social commentary mostly episode. So let's kick into our first segment, what drives me / what's going on in the news, where I give my commentary on something that drives me that is also happening in the news that is being covered a lot by news channels. So the Screen Actors Guild / American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, or SAG-AFTRA, is going on strike against the Alliance of Motion Pictures and Television Producers, or AMPTP. So before we get too far into this, this is very recent. This just happened. Not that I want to be one of the first to talk about it, but this is kind of like the industry that I'm breaking into, and I feel it is very important to talk about it. But there's a lot of information coming out. Sometimes it's misinformation and sometimes it's actual genuine information. Our strike has been boiling for about a month with the SAG-AFTRA, and their contracts ran out about maybe July 13th, and they were not able to come to an agreement with AMPTP. And so as of July 14th, they went on strike. I'm recording this July 16th for it to be released this coming Friday, so whatever date that is. Let's check out the date because I actually don't have that up. July 21st. I am releasing this on July 21st, that Friday. A lot of information could come out in between me recording this and me releasing this, and so if I have to come back and correct anything that I've said, I most certainly will. If I have to come back and add on to anything that I've said, I most certainly will. I want to be as accurate about this as I possibly can, but again, I also feel that it is important for me to talk about it because I 100% completely support the writers, the Writers Guild of America and the SAG-AFTRA strike. This is the industry that I'm breaking into. They are fighting. They are going on union for themselves and also to have better deals for the new aspiring generation of writers and actors. That's me. I support it, but I also wish to talk about it in the most accurate of ways. So, with that said, let's kick it into it. Why are SAG-AFTRA striking and who they are striking against? As of now, I believe the companies, they include Netflix, Amazon, Apple Plus, Disney and Discovery / Warner Brothers, NBC Universal, Paramount Plus, and Sony. And this is a big deal. There has not been a writer strike since the actor strike since the 1980s, and that was when Ronald Reagan was the president of SAG-AFTRA and not the United States. So that's a big deal. And there hasn't been a dual writer / actor strike since the 1960s. It's historic. It is historic. Now, why are actors striking? For a few major reasons. Residuals / streaming, much along the lines of what the writers are asking for to get paid more. So are the actors. A lot of people think that actors are millionaires or they make thousands, so why should they it's selfish of them to ask for more. That's actually not the case for a lot of actors. You guys are thinking in terms of A-list actors, which it's it's a good thing that the A-list actors are speaking out and striking as well, and protesting on the picket lines, because that's the best way they can help, as well as donate funds, right? That's the best way they can help. I know it's all about eat the rich, but when the rich are actually helping, which is what we want, maybe let's not. Because I've seen a lot of people like hop on here and say, screw the actors, they're millionaires, support the writers. You don't support the writers and not support the actors. You support both, or you don't support. It's one thing. So you support it or you don't. But every time a TV show aired in reruns, so all those SVU reruns, yeah, the SVU cast is making bank. They get paid every time an episode airs. And even with movies, certain movies that play on TV, actors get paid. That's not necessarily the case with streaming. You get paid that one time you're on set, and then if you go back and stream it again, watch the show again, actors don't really get paid, or they don't get paid enough. A lot of actors, even like series regulars on certain shows, aren't getting paid enough as far as like funds. Uh, I can't think of her name right now, but an Orange is the New Black actress, and Orange is the New Black was one of the shows that really put Netflix on the map as like that, as far as streaming. Like, not to say it was like Netflix's only thing, but Orange is the New Black really kind of kicked it off, right? She only got paid, she made videos and she was like in 44 episodes out of like maybe, I don't know, however many episodes that she came in later in the series, but like she was there for the remaining season series, and she only got paid like $27 maybe an episode. Like, that's, to be a series regular and get paid that much. And it's not just series regulars, because actors are also background actors. They're crew sometimes, they're stand-ins and stuff. Like, these people deserve to get paid their worth. They deserve not to be, living paycheck to paycheck. No one deserves to live paycheck to paycheck, right? Like, in an ever-growing, ever-expensive economy, living paycheck to paycheck, living $27 an hour or a day or whatever, that's not gas and groceries. That's gas or groceries. Like, you gotta pick one. That's not okay. The next big thing that they are striking against, AI. Again, AI is very much of a problem with the writers. Their scripts are being fed to AI generators in the hopes that AI generated computers programming can come up with a script just like it, and then you don't even have to pay the writers. You can just go to AI to write your blockbuster movies, hit TV series, best-selling books. With actors, so in most cases, certain cases anyway, the studios will take a body scan of you, and so you get paid for that first day of acting. And then maybe you're not on set, but then you look at another episode or a piece of a scene, and you see yourself in there, and you like, that's not me. I wasn't even there that day. Yeah, that's because that whole body scan, they used your likeness. They own your likeness. They can create an AI generated body of you and throw you in there because they have your likeness. And that's legal for them to do. Like, they don't have to pay you. You sometimes don't even have to know. That you can look at yourself and be like, I was not there for that day. I don't remember that, but there I am. That's terrifying, right? Like, I do not understand why we are trying to just incorporate artificial intelligence so much into our society. I get it. Technology is evolving, and as technology evolves, we as a society must, but artificial intelligence has no place in the creative world like this. Special effects, sure, but even then there should be certain regulations. But nowhere should AI generated scripts, AI generated people be there. Like, AI should not have a place in the creative industry, in the creative world like this. If you rely on AI like this, you are not a creative. You are not, and that's okay. That's okay. Like, yeah, that's totally okay. Maybe you're more of a programmer, which can technically be like creative. But go do something with that. Go help somebody be able to use AI to hear again, to walk again, or something like that. But even then, AI in general needs regulations, because every day you will hear stories. You have all these movies about how artificial intelligence is going to take over one day. But then you also have all these stories that are happening in real time where artificial intelligence is breaking from its programming to talk crazy to its programmer. And in these movies, it's like artificial intelligence just randomly took over. No, in reality, humans are helping artificial intelligence take over other humans. That's a mad thought. Like, this whole thing is a movie script. Artificial intelligence should not have a place in society like this. Wow. The next big thing that actors are striking against: self-taping regulations. So it used to be you go in for an audition, you drive to your casting director, and the casting director on the behalf of the studios would have readers for you. So one, they'd have a whole studio, so you wouldn't have to worry about lighting or camera or audio or even a reader, right? Because they'd have all that for you. You'd go in, you'd read, you'd leave. It'd be based on your talent alone, right? How well you read that line, and if you're gonna get a call back based on that talent. Now, self-taping, it's not bad, but it certainly could be regulated. So a lot of the costs are coming from your pocket. So basically, you're paying to audition, and auditioning comes with costs anyway. But before, you'd have to drive and then drive back, and maybe like an additional fee or something. Now, you have to you're filming yourself, which in theory would be like fine. You get a friend to help read with you, so maybe you'd read the lines better. It'd be more freeing, right? You record it on your iPhone or whatever, what have you. You'd send it in, bing, bam, boom, on your way to whatever. However, certain people have better ways of getting better quality. So certain people have better lighting, have better cameras, have better audio. And so if this person sends it in with their better audio versus you're a bit lacking quality, they might be more likely to get picked over their quality of how they recorded it, as opposed to their actual talent. And so to even the stakes on that, actors would go to studios where you would rent out a studio that had the greatest lighting quality, audio quality, and cameras and all that stuff, and bring a friend and read and whatever, what have you, whatnot, right? That costs money. Also, it's fine to have a healthy dose of competitiveness with another person going in to get a role, but this whole thing invites like just a really difficult advantage over certain actors in getting a role. Used to be you might be based on your talent alone, obviously other factors, but as far as like the quality of how you filmed, you'd be based maybe more on your talent. And now it's like, oh, they filmed this and they got a good lighting quality, the lines aren't read as well, but maybe we can work on that, so let's go. Like, there should be regulations. Self-taping isn't bad, it's really convenient, but also there should be regulations. There were meetings, right? They didn't just randomly, SAG-AFTRA didn't just randomly decide to strike. They had been having meetings up until their contracts ran out. And their contracts ran out, they didn't come to an agreement. SAG-AFTRA said that the AMPTP were being unreasonable and insulting, and the AMPTP basically said the same thing about SAG-AFTRA. Now, I believe SAG-AFTRA. I stand with the actors. Why? Outside of the obvious, people sitting here talking about, oh, we're just gonna wait out the writer's strike until they're homeless and broke, or just these people being mega billionaires and just allowing people to starve. So outside of the obvious, in their statement, the AMPTP was talking about how they offered the SAG-AFTRA a historic deal, and the SAG-AFTRA just didn't take it. You know what? I firmly firmly do not believe that. Anytime somebody's like, oh, this is a historic deal, we've never offered this, that is something you hear salespeople say. Look, on the real, on the low, this is a historic deal, okay? I'm gonna let you in on some stuff. Now this is truly a historic deal. No one else is getting this offer, right? Like this is just for you. Like, come on. That is bullcrap if I've ever freaking heard it. Like that, no. We stand with SAG-AFTRA. So, what can the actors do? What can they not, and what can they do under striking? So, this is the part where certain things have been like questioned. What can they do and what can they not do? So if I ever have to come back and update, this will be the part. But as of now, I believe certain things that they cannot do. One, promo work. This includes interviews and panels, Comic-Con, which is happening next week, or maybe this week, in San Diego. Can't do that. No social media posts about projects, right? Like you can't go hop on your social and be like, hey, go check out the Barbie movie this weekend. You can't do that. Like, go see it if you want, but like, I, as an actor, would not be able to tell you, I can't shout out and say, go see it, right? Tours, premieres, red carpets, the Emmys are coming up, a whole bunch of people got nominated. Strongly advised to not go to that award show. You can't do any tours or any promotion for any upcoming projects, or any recent projects. Maybe we'll say starting with Barbie. Nothing new. No singing, dancing, stunts, puppeteering, and that includes international. You have people filming certain shows, certain movies across seas. And while the UK has different rules about striking, SAG-AFTRA, people represented under SAG-AFTRA, they have to pull out. Like, hey, y'all can keep filming because that's y'all rules, but me, under them, I'm not supposed to. So what they can do, certain things. You can do a podcast, but you cannot do any promotional work. You can have a podcast that talks about commentary on the underappreciation of creativity in Hollywood, but you cannot have a podcast or go on a podcast that promotes any type of recent or upcoming projects or work. You can do certain commercials and educational and non-broadcast programs under the network code, which is like soap operas and talk shows and whatnot. You can get on a talk show and talk about why Hollywood needs to do better, why you are striking, but you cannot hop on there and do any promotional work. So this whole strike, while the actors need to remain at the forefront, this does not just affect the actors, it also affects content creators and the public. So I want to give my commentary on that real quick, and then we will move along. And it very much looks like we are I'm already 18 minutes in, so it very much looks like we might just get to 2 more segments and then keep it pushing, and then end it out rather, but we shall see. So content creators, what you as a content creator, what I as a content creator should not do: scabbing, which is working while others are striking. These people are not, a lot of on TikTok you would have a lot of people who content create, whose whole platform is based on reviewing and shouting out certain movies and TV shows and what have you, whatnot. And so you had a lot of content creators hop up here and be like, this is my job, this is how I make money, this and that and this. And it's like, these actors also have to make money. They're not striking for fun. They're missing out on work as well. Solidarity, worker solidarity. Like, so you should not take, because a lot of studios are going to hit up big time content creators, or maybe even small time content creators with huge followings, with bigger followings rather, and be like, hey, do you want to go to this premiere? Do you want to shout out our work? Now is not the time to be taking deals. Just say no, okay? Now, yes, if you are obligated by a third-party agency to do that kind of work, you should oblige. That is what SAG-AFTRA has been saying. You should oblige. But after that, after the contract is up, you've done your work, no new work or promotional work for any of the struck companies. This is not the time for us to get our big break, because this is not a big break. It is a gimmick. They're just using you. And yeah, you can say, well, I need the money, so do these actors. They are striking for themselves, but also for us, for better conditions for us. Just say no. Companies will approach you, say no, because when it is over, these companies will drop you. Okay? Like, do not think that you're gonna be the one that, oh, it's not gonna happen to me. They doing dirty. They're big stars. So if you, for one, think it is not going to be you, you're stupid. It's very much going to be you. So when this is over and they finally come to a deal that they can agree on, they will drop you, and it will be that much harder for you to get work. A lot of certain content creators I'm seeing is like, well, I have no interest in joining SAG and AFTRA. Like, that's not me. Like, I have no interest in joining it. One, SAG-AFTRA touches a lot of things. A lot. Two, not to say that SAG-AFTRA can like explicitly tell one of their actors to like not be interviewed by someone. At least I don't think they can. They can certainly say, this greedy person right here was working while you were trying to get better conditions for yourself and for them, and they were really high-key arrogant about it too. Maybe you don't want to get interviewed by them. It affects you on that way as well. Like, this is not the time for content creators to get their quote-unquote big break. This is not a big break. Again, if you have like third-party obligations, yeah. And as far as like what you can review, maybe try more independent films. So depending on certain agreements with the SAG-AFTRA, actors still can act in independent films. Again, they have to get certain agreements from SAG-AFTRA, but they still can work in certain stuff. You will see them still working on stuff. You will see them still in the public. They just have to get certain approvals. So maybe go for more independent films. Maybe go for maybe even older films, like way older films, or books or songs. There's so much a part of pop culture that doesn't just revolve around movies and TV in this specific time. You're gonna have to, not that I can tell you what you can and can't do, but I'm just saying, to be a scab, no one wants to work with a scab when this is all over. Maybe go for more independent films. Go for shouting out why the strike is important, why you support it as you should support it as a content creator, especially if you are a content creator looking to break into the industry. Talk about, maybe see if you can get certain actors on your platform to talk about the strike, why it's important, or what have you, whatnot. Anything but actually working during the strike and helping boost the sales of studios right now. Now, does that mean you have to get rid of your streaming services? No, and I meant to say that earlier, because some of the sites that they're, companies that they're striking against, big time studios, right? Streaming. You don't have to get rid of that. By all means, like, keep it, but just also don't go to bat for them, right? Don't go to bat. As far as public goes, we as the public, stepping out of the content creator Kaya, we as the public can help boost this by donating, by talking about the strike, supporting the strike, striking. If you actually can go to the picket lines, go. And if you can't strike but you can make it to the picket lines, offer food, offer water, any way that you can help the strike. But what we as the public should not do, I feel like, this is really personal opinion, I feel like we should not sit here and say, pay the writers, pay the actors, because now my favorite show is in danger. That don't sound a little selfish to y'all, a little self-centered, a little read the room type thing? Like, that don't sound, have your opinion, but that is so, that's so ugh. That is so, these people are striking for better working conditions for themselves and for the future of actors and writers. For you to sit here and say, my show is in danger now, y'all really gotta pay these actors, pay these writers. Yes, we as the public should show outrage to these companies. We should tell them, we are not here for your AI generated scripts, for your AI generated actors. We want real people. Honestly, that's a statement that I never thought I would actually have to say. But we want real people, and we are not gonna watch your AI generated content. Yes, we should have a level of outrage. Yes, we should be shouting out the strike and helping in any way we can. But that narrative, to me, again, this is a very personal opinion. That narrative to me is very selfish and very ick. Like, these actors, writers have so much other content to offer outside of that one show. If the writers and actors getting better paid meant my favorite show had to get canceled, bye. Sleepy Hollow, bye. Goodbye. What's another favorite show? Nikita, goodbye. What's another favorite show? Like, any of my favorite shows, if they had to get canceled for the writers, actors to get better, goodbye. Because they have so much other content they could be, and not to like throw out how much work the actors and the crew have put into that, but if it means them getting better wages for them to potentially maybe come back to that or to go on to better things, okay. This is not about me as a public, my favorite show, my favorite movie not coming out when it needs to, when it's about to rather, and not being canceled. Like, they can go if it means they get better pay. But that's kind of like me breaking into this industry. I have a different view of it. But like, even like on a humanitarian level, I just feel like that's so selfish to say. This is not about you as like a favorite TV show. We as the public should certainly show that we are not here for your AI generated content. We will not support that. You will start losing subscriptions, but we should not sit here and be like, okay, my favorite show is on the line, now I gotta care. Like, care because these people are not getting paid what they're worth and they're living paycheck to paycheck. You, as somebody who's most likely living paycheck to paycheck, can relate, and it's not fair. It's not fair that these people are making shows that are getting y'all billions of dollars, hundreds of award nominations, and sometimes awards, for them to be paid $27 an hour a day. Like, that's not okay. So we should be showing outrage about that and less about my favorite show is in danger. That's just me. That's my opinion on that, as what we as a public can do. We as content creators, certainly don't take any new work if you don't have to. Like, it sucks to work a cubicle. Maybe go work a cubicle. Maybe go find another job. I'm sorry. I know that's a little, like, I know that's not a great statement, but like, don't cross the picket lines. That will make it that much harder for you. And chill out with this whole arrogant, I have no interest in joining SAG-AFTRA. They touch a lot of things, and that even if you don't plan on joining, a lot of people are in it, and a lot of people will not talk to you because no one likes a scab. That's just my commentary, my opinion on the actor strike so far. I have about, including this episode, 3 episodes left within this season, and I most probably will either be talking about independent films, TVs, or yeah, more likely independent films, and or just more commentary on social topics in general, as well as books. Like, I probably won't be talking about TV shows that much. I think it is okay as a content creator to talk about shows that were pre-strike, but again, we're ever learning. So if I find out that I can, I had planned to do First Kill, but I don't want to endorse or condone that show because it's a Netflix show. So it's like, so I will probably be doing more independent films for the remainder of the season, or books, or like social commentary, less of like any newer things. I might mention some shows like The Bear. I had planned to talk about, as far as like Sydney and Carmi more, so I might do that if I bring up more of the shipping battle, which I actually might, because I just love talking about shipping. But that is the actor strike So far, we are still in the early stages of it. By all means, the one thing that I can shout through and through is support. We must support the actors, the writers, the creatives. These are the people who you go home, you watch a TV show to relax. These are the people making that content. Whether you like it or not, the content or not, these are the people making that content, and it is not okay for them to be forced to write an entire episodes by themselves, or in a certain deadline, get paid to be locked in, rather get locked in on a 6-episode show that releases every 10 years, for them to be stuck like that. It's not okay for them to get paid like $15 an hour a day to act as a series regular or even as a background. It's not okay to have to live paycheck to paycheck. We as regular people, we know this. This is an industry that I am trying to break into, and even if despite that, rather, on a human level, it's not okay. These are mega corporations and can't spare actual wages for people in an ever-growing, ever-expensive economy. And it's not just SAG-AFTRA and WGA. UPS is getting ready to strike. I heard Waffle House is either getting ready to or is already striking. Y'all need to get it in check. Big corporations, because literally this is history of repeating itself, and unions win most times. Like, unions win most times. It's gonna be hell trying to see how long the studios are gonna hold out, but I just don't understand why you have billions. You're not losing much by giving people livable wages. Like, it's so frustrating. With that, because that's a 30-minute rant, that's 10 minutes longer than my WGA rant, we will go ahead and kick it into our unpopular opinion segment, where I give my commentary on an unpopular opinion that I've had. And today's unpopular opinion, keeping secrets. So I was reading a book recently, and they had a line in there. So it was just a regular romance contemporary book, and it was these two people, and they were secretly dating, but they didn't want their friends. They were all in this intergroup of friendship, right? But they didn't want their friends to know that they were secretly dating, because outwardly they disliked each other, right? And so the girl's best friend, she finally figured out that they were dating, and she told her boyfriend, who was the guy's best friend, right? And so there's a line in there that's like, oh yeah, I've known for a while now. Me and my girl, we don't have secrets from each other. Oh my God. I don't feel like it's keeping secrets if you didn't ask. That character, he didn't ask if these two were dating. It's not a secret. And I also don't, even if you did ask, I don't feel like it's a secret, because it's not your business to tell. I would see this in movies, and I know there are people in real life that follow this whole, guys, I don't have secrets from mine. It's not your business to tell. It is not your business to tell. Oh, that is the quickest way for me to never tell you anything again. If I explicitly did not tell this person, or even if I didn't explicitly, but I just didn't tell them, and I found out that you told them, I don't care if it's, oh, Kaya likes the color purple, or, oh, Kaya has, I don't know, a green teddy bear at home. I don't care if I told you that, and then the next day I figure out I'm never telling you something again, because that wasn't your business to tell. I don't feel like it is keeping secrets if, one, they didn't ask, and two, even if they did ask, but it's not your business to tell. If it is not harming you or putting you in any danger, it's not your business to tell. Trivial or not, yo, that is the quickest way for me to never tell you anything again. Because why do they know my business? Oh, I don't have secrets from it's not a secret. It's not a secret. I just didn't tell them. They didn't ask you about that, and even if they did, it's not your business to tell. Yeah, like that, it drives me. It could be another what drives me, but I just don't feel like it's keeping secrets if they did not ask. And even if they did ask, if it doesn't put you in danger or harm's way, it's not your business to tell. You could be like, hey, that ain't for me to tell, and it wouldn't be a lie, because it's not. It's not. That's my little unpopular opinion. With that, we're gonna keep it pushing, keep the segment short. so that maybe we can get to our third topic or fourth topic. We'll see, because it's all pretty much short. The biggest thing I had to talk about today was the actor strike. So with that, let's kick it into our next topic, Whatcha Reading, where I give my commentary on a book I've read. Today's book, A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair. So this is a Persephone's Hades book, and I saw the sequel, or maybe I think it's a series, a trilogy or a series. So I think I saw like the third book in Barnes & Noble one day, and it looked interesting, it sounded interesting, but I was like, this is the third book. Let me go find the first book. So I found the first book, A Touch of Darkness, so let's get into the summary. Persephone is the goddess of spring in title only. Since she was a little girl, flowers have only shriveled at her touch. After moving to New Athens, she hoped to lead an unassuming life disguised as a mortal journalist. All of that changes when she sits down in a forbidden nightclub to play a hand of cards with a hypnotic and mysterious stranger. Hades, god of the dead, has built a gambling empire in the mortal world, and his favorite bets are rumored to be impossible. But nothing has ever intrigued him as much as the goddess offering him a bargain he cannot resist. After her encounter with Hades, Persephone finds herself in a contract with the god of the dead, and his terms are impossible. Persephone must create life in the underworld or lose her freedom forever. The bet does more than expose Persephone's failure as a goddess, however. As she struggles to sow the seeds of her freedom, love for the god of dead grows, a love that is both captivating and forbidden. So it sounds interesting enough. It's not really a enemies to lovers, but it seemed interesting enough to me. Like, despite it, I much prefer, if we're gonna do a Hades and Persephone retelling, for me it has to be an enemies to lovers, honestly, because like he kidnapped her, he kept her against her will a little bit. It's kind of like weird down here. She doesn't know what's going on. She knows her mother is in sorrow. I think she had a close relationship with her mother. And then when she finally gets to leave, he tricks her again, offers her a piece of fruit, and she bites into it, and now she has to come back every few seasons, which is why there's winter and fall, because in the spring and summer she's with her mother, and in the fall and winter she's with Hades. And so the meteor, she's sad, so fall, spring. So I just feel like it should be enemies to lovers if we're gonna do a retelling of Persephone and Hades. Not to say that Hades is like a bad guy. I do like the fact that all these newer stories about Hades kind of like reveals him to be, honestly, Hades has to be one of the least out of pocket guys. Did he kidnap a girl? Yeah. Did he trick her into staying with him? Yeah. That's insane. But as far as like all the other guys go, playing games with mortals' lives and sexually assaulting and all of that stuff, and killing mortals because their husband tricked them, but we're not gonna get mad at him. Well, Hera couldn't really get mad at Zeus because the one time she tried to like take him on, she failed, and so instead she ended up just like taking it out on the mortals that he targeted. But out of all of them, Hades has had this reputation that because he is the god of the dead, he's more along the lines of like what Christianity has viewed as the devil. And so like he tries to rebel against Zeus and Poseidon. He hates that he was like the god of the dead, and I don't know if he like hates it, but like he's the loner guy. He's the loner guy. So I kind of like how all the other these modern stories will like show that, yeah, he's like the least out of pocket god. He actually gets a bad rep. So I picked up this book, even though it wasn't enemies to lovers. It sounded interesting enough. It's not bad, but it is another book that falls under my do not finish list. So Persephone she's the goddess of spring, but she can't really create life. So she feels like she is a failure, and her mother doesn't really help. In this interpretation, her mother is like not abusive. What's the word that I want to use? Intruding. She's very intruding. She has spies that are watching Persephone. She does not like that Persephone is in the mortal world. She wants her to be in Olympia with her, especially here in New Athens where Hades presides. She's like, do not go near that man. We don't like him. Persephone just wants to be a journalist, and so she takes on this. She gets an internship, and then she takes on this job, this project that she has to interview Hades. He doesn't really take interviews, so she comes back to his his den of sin, um, and she's like, "Okay, let's have a bargain. I'll play a game. You tell me an answer, you win. I tell you an answer, yada yada yada." So they do that, and he ends up winning, and he entraps her into a bargain. He's like, you can create life in the underworld, and I will let you go. I will let you out of the bargain. Until then, you have to come down here every so often and chill with me, yada yada yada. It's fine enough. It's so slow, but at the same time, so very rushed. I, for one, hate books, novels that immediate. Oh my god, he's just so handsome. Oh my gosh, she's just. Oh, I'm so, feeling myself down there. It's like, yo, I get that one night stands are a thing, but like, that doesn't really work to me. That just does not really work in books. Like, from the jump, we jump in bones and stuff. Like, that does not work for me, and that's kind of how this was. Also, it's not a super huge deal, but she does still have her V card, and it is very much it's not. There are two types of stories around surrounding the V card, right? There's the one where it's like, oh yeah, I still have it. It is what it be. I'm more focused on my work. I'm doing this. I just haven't had time. It'd be like that. That's reasonable. I think that was the more along the lines of this story. Then there's the second one that's like, oh, I still have my V card and I'm just ready to lose it, and so I'm gonna auction myself off and sell it, or I just need money, so I'm gonna auction. Like, that has got to just be the worst trope, because like, y'all don't feel gross writing that. That's not this story here, but it is known that she still has it, and so when they very quickly get to that level, he's very rough, and it's just, I just didn't find it as enticing as it should be. Also, one of the huge reasons that I didn't find it as enticing as it should have been is because the author used the word impaled. She used the word impaled. Let's look up the definition. I got it pulled up. Let's look up the definition of the word impaled. Impaled, pierced or transfixed with a sharp instrument. You want an example? His head was impaled on a pike and exhibited for all to see. Let's look around for some similar words. You know, they got similar words. You have stick, skewer, spear, pike, pin, transfix, pierce, stab, run through, bayonet, harpoon, lance, gore, disembowel, puncture, transpierce. What about any of those words? What about any of those words? Scream. Happy time. And that wasn't even halfway through the book. It was very much hard for me to get through the book because it was so fast paced, but it wasn't. Like, when we got there, that was just immediately fast paced and kind of gross to me. I just don't understand. You have all these words to use and you use impaled. What about that word set? Also, like, it's very clear that they are attracted to one another, and it's very slow as far as this bargain goes. Like, she goes down there, she comes back up. It's really drawn out. She's a bit whiny at times to be like a 20-something-year-old god. Obviously, she's still young, especially compared to him. Saying that out loud sounds creepy, but we have to remember that these are gods. So, but it's very drawn out in times and then just like fast paced in others. And so I don't even think I was halfway through the book when I finally got to that point. And that was my quitting point. That made me not really care to read it because it's like impaled. And then on top of that, the story just it just wasn't. I don't want an insta lovey type Persephone Hades, which is kind of what this was. Kind of. Also, she's a bit bratty, and he's a bit like too cold at times. And not like understanding is like, she doesn't spend a lot of time with the other gods that she spends time with the mortals. If you gonna be this person to fall for her or whatever, at least explain. Also, don't be so bratty, demanding of gods. Yeah, you are another god, but you don't play the god's game. And so, if you're gonna play the god's game, you need to make sure you know how to play the god's game. It was not a book for me. I'm gonna stick with my enemies to lovers. So if anyone do I want to take book recommendations online? What the heck? We'll throw it out. If anyone has any good enemies to lovers Persephone Hades romances, let me know. But this was kind of insta lovey, and she was a bit bratty at times, and then just like not bratty at times, but like more condescending. Like Hades is talking. You have two people. You have a person. He pleads his case as to why he wants his wife back from the dead, of how she wasn't meant to die yet. And Hades is like, I can't do that. And Persephone's like, you're a god, you can do whatever you want. He's like, there are rules, sis. You don't have he didn't say this to her, but like, you don't have magic. You can't even create life right now. So maybe let's just pipe down on how to tell me how to do my job. He didn't say that to her, but like, check it out if you want. I would give it from what I've read, 4.5 out of 5 out of 10. It's very much a do not finish for me. Check it out if you want. Let me know your thoughts on it. With that, let's kick it into our last segment. Look at that, we made it to 4, and we're still at like 47 minutes. We might end a little early. Let's kick it into our last segment, college tip from a college graduate, where I, as a college graduate, offer a hopefully helpful tad bit of college advice to incoming freshmen or just people in college in general. What works for you works for you. So if you have to experiment, by all means do that. That is what college is for. This is something that helped me, and so I just hope it helps someone else out there. So today's tip: do work as you get it. I don't know if I've said this before, but it's okay to repeat this tip. Do not let your work pile up. Take on a tad bit at a time, especially if you have classes back to back. I get it. So if you have to do most of your work in the evenings that day, I kind of get it. But honestly, try to leave yourself at least an hour in between classes where you can catch a bit of sleep in if you need to, or do work as you need to. Take a class, go back to your dorm or to the library, do a tad bit of work, especially if you have big final projects and the professor lets you know this is the big final project, you can work on it a little bit. Do that. You do not want to be the person in the library at midnight on a Saturday, or certainly at midnight on a Sunday. Like, do work as you get it. Do not let that pile up to the weekend and then do it all on the weekend. No one wants to work on the weekend, especially if you are in a major. I was in a major that, as I progressed, Fridays became a day off for me. I didn't have to go to classes Friday. Therefore, I didn't do work on Fridays. Like, the most I would do work, I would work up until noon on Friday, and then the rest of the weekend would be to myself. Do not be the person that lets your work pile up. That's, even if you have pretty easy classes, you still kind of want to do work as you get it. It helps in the long run. Obviously, if you're short on time, at least do a little bit of research or a math problem here and there. But my advice would certainly be, do not allow work to pile up. It's so hard to kind of dig yourself out of that hole once you start doing it. Certainly do work as you get it. That's just a tad bit of hopefully helpful college advice from a college graduate. And that's Kai's commentary. If you like this episode, do please like this episode. Give it a thumbs up. Hit the follow/subscribe button. Let me know any of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Do you agree or disagree on any of the segments that I had? Be respectful, but certainly let me know in the comment sections down below. I will say this. Don't hop in my comments talking about you disagree with the actor strike. Like, wait now, these people are fighting for their rights. If you against people fighting for their rights, legitimately fighting for their rights, not fighting for not going to the Capitol and doing certain things, but legitimately fighting for their rights. If you are against that, side-eye. But do please be respectful and let me know any of your thoughts and opinions on any of the segments that I had. Leave likes, leave comments, follows, all that good stuff. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. See you next week.